Have you ever been crying, and a tear rolls down your face, and you notice it's salty? It's a universal experience, but have you ever stopped to wonder why? Why aren't our tears just plain water? Well, that salty taste is no accident. It's a key feature of a sophisticated system your body uses to keep your eyes healthy. Today, we're going to dive into the fascinating science behind why your tears taste salty. So, let's break it down. Tears are essentially a mild saline solution. They're mostly water, about 98 to 99%, but it's that remaining 1 or 2% that packs all the punch and gives tears their salty flavor and protective power. The main ingredient responsible for this taste is sodium chloride, which you probably know as common table salt, but it's not just table salt. Your tears also contain other essential electrolytes like potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Now, where do these salts come from? They don't just magically appear in your eyes. These electrolytes are dissolved in your blood plasma. From your bloodstream, they are carried to your lacrimal glands, which are the tiny tear factories located just above the outer corner of each eye. These glands produce the tear fluid, complete with its salty composition. Interestingly, the salt concentration in your tears is about 0.9%, which is very similar to the salinity of your own blood. In fact, this concentration mirrors that of other body fluids like sweat and saliva. Some scientists even theorize that this internal saline environment is a sort of evolutionary echo of the ancient oceans where life on Earth first began. So, in a way, you're carrying a tiny piece of the primordial sea inside you. But the saltiness isn't just for flavor. It serves a critical protective function for your eyes. First, it helps maintain something called osmotic balance. That sounds complicated, but it's actually a simple and brilliant concept. The cells on the surface of your eye, your cornea and conjunctiva, have a certain salt concentration inside them. For these cells to stay healthy, the fluid surrounding them needs to have a similar concentration. If your tears were pure water, the water would rush into the cells, causing them to swell up and potentially burst. If they were too salty, water would be drawn out of the cells, causing them to dehydrate and shrivel. So, the slightly salty nature of your tears creates the perfect, balanced environment to keep your eye cells happy and hydrated. Secondly, the salt in your tears acts as a natural antiseptic. It helps to inhibit the growth of bacteria on the surface of your eye. When you combine this saltiness with other components in tears, like an enzyme called lysozyme, which is fantastic at breaking down bacterial cell walls, you get a powerful, built-in disinfectant. Every time you blink, you're not just moistening your eye, you're washing it with this protective, antibacterial solution. What's even more fascinating is that not all tears are created equal. You actually produce 3 different types of tears, and their saltiness can vary slightly. First, you have basal tears. These are the ones you're producing all day, every day. You don't notice them, but they're constantly lubricating and nourishing your eyes. These tears have a relatively high salt concentration to provide that continuous antimicrobial protection. Next are reflex tears. These are the tears that gush out when you get something in your eye like dust, or when you're chopping onions. Their job is to flush out irritants quickly and effectively. They are also quite salty, as they need to act as a rapid protective wash to clear away any potential threats. Finally, we have emotional tears. These are the tears you shed in response to strong feelings like sadness, joy, or pain. Interestingly, studies suggest that emotional tears might be slightly less salty than the other 2 types. Why? Because they tend to contain more protein-based stress hormones, like prolactin and adrenocorticotropic hormone. Crying from emotion is literally a way for your body to release these built-up substances, which might be why so many of us feel a sense of relief after a good cry. So, to sum it all up, the next time you taste a salty tear, remember it's not just a random quirk. It's a sign of your body's incredible engineering. That salt comes from the essential electrolytes in your blood, and it's there to maintain a perfect balance for your eye cells and to protect them from harmful bacteria. Whether it's a constant protective film, a sudden flush, or an emotional release, your tears are perfectly designed for the job. It really is amazing what our bodies do without us even thinking about it. Thanks so much for watching and learning with me today. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the world around us. See you in the next one.